Make a brew, sit down, relax, and let me tell you a tale of how I finally found the fish at Southbourne. Don't you just love when a plan comes together? But that's not where this story starts. We're going to rewind slightly to a week earlier at Milford, Shingle, where optimism of some special species was high.
Well, hello, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the C Smith YouTube channel. I am down here on a glorious spring day, where I've forgotten my sunglasses, at Milford Shingle Bank. Now I'm all set up, got my rods in the water, tent's all ready to go, got food in the bag. Here for a fairly long session. It's just gone, I think, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Going to fish it into darkness till about 10 PM or so. The plan is conger and raise. We got neat tides today, so pretty small tides. Hence why I'm down Milford Shingle to try and find a little bit of tide and some movement and some fish. Now I've actually got a kind of scratching around rig with some lugworm out at the moment and a whole squid sent out on a pulley pennel. I'm saving my best baits, my best tactics for darkness, where I've got some bluey, which I'll send out with some squid, I've got some sand eel, and try and search out some of those target fish. But let's see what we can do today. Now, we're not fishing alone today. I am joined by Martin, who you would have seen on some of the latest videos where we've been out on Chesil together, been out on the Sib together. He's already actually had a bass. He was down here about an hour or so before me. So Martin has actually set up his own YouTube channel, Ocean's Edge Fishing. I will put a tag here and I'll link it in the description. He's literally just started up. He's filming his first video alongside me today. So do go check him out, give him some subscribers. Let's get him, help him kind of get off the ground. Get a nice audience. He's going to be he fishes a lot. He fishes pretty much most weekends. He puts a lot of time and effort into it. He lives about 2.5 hours away from the coastline. So he puts a lot of effort in, driving, getting his bait sorted. And no doubt he'll be putting a lot of that effort into his content as well. So do give him a follow and let's get him, let's get him going. Now, for me today, I'm here to just have some fun. Fingers crossed we'll find the fish, find the target species. But yet again, as I was saying in the video before, when I was down Southbourne, we found the place. The temperatures are lovely and now warm. We are forecast a bit of rain today, but so far it's held off. So fingers crossed that will stay that way. I've brought my jacket, not wearing it. I'm probably gonna take this off in a minute. It is lovely and warm, about 15 degrees, and it's quite humid as well. Really nice fishing conditions. We've got a bit of an easterly wind, and where obviously we're in the kind of shelter of the Solent and the Isle of Wight, it's completely flat on the sea off in front of us. So really nice, easy fishing conditions. Now, I would like to find on my scratching rig some nice early bream. Not had any bream this side. Last bream I had was back in December, so I haven't had any since the turn of the year. This is obviously a very good bream mark. If I can pluck one out, that would be good. But that's not really the target today. The targets are going to be a nice ungulate and a nice eel. I've also brought some crabs down as well, because I've got a third rod with me, and I might just stick out some crab. Bass will pick that up, maybe an early smoothhound, you never know. But that'll just be my kind of suck it and see rod that I stick out there. So as I said earlier, I'm here with Martin. As you would have seen him in previous videos, he came out on the Sib with us, he's been on Chesil. What's your target for today? What's your goal?
Well, I think we've discussed that already. We wanted to talk, try and get some rays. It'd be a nice bonus. I've had a small bass already. I'd definitely like to get into, like I said, a ray or maybe a big conger eel once it gets dark. I think it'd be a good shout. I did bring my gaff with me just in case.
Yeah, we're being optimistic. Hopefully we'll be dragging up a big slab of fish later. But some exciting news for Martin. You've started up your own YouTube channel, haven't you?
I have indeed, yeah. I've actually come up with a name of Ocean's Edge Fishing. So if you want to see my content, then you can always pop over and have a look at that. The first video will probably go up sometime this week. Yeah, I think it's all come from fishing with you, really. I think the inspiration.
He's looked at me and went, if this idiot can do it, I can have a go. So yeah. No, what's behind the name? Where's the name from?
Basically, I looked into obviously various names of what I wanted to call it, but when you actually dive into it, there's so many people trying to get a YouTube channel up and running and something like that. And every name you can think of has been taken up. Obviously, it's going to be based around fishing, the sea mainly, I'm not saying there won't be other content in there, but that, you know, there could be. But obviously we're on the ocean, we're on the, as far as we're concerned, the edge of the ocean, and we're fishing. So
that makes complete sense, actually. I'd really appreciate it if you do go over and give Martin a subscribe, check his channel out. I know from when I first started out, it's really encouraging when you see people start to, you know, engage with it, communicate with you, and enjoy the content. It means a lot. That's the main reason we do it, so that, you know, we can meet new people. I mean, I met you through my channel, didn't I?
yes,
so,
indeed, yeah.
You know, it's a really, really cool thing to do, and I think, yeah, if you can go subscribe to the channel, I'd definitely appreciate it. I'm sure Martin would.
Yeah,
also.
definitely.
So we'll show you all how fantastic a fisherman Martin is when he's going to land a 20-pound conger and a 15-pound undulator. So that's the benchmark. If he does that, you have to subscribe.
Well,
Pressure's on.
I introduced you on my video as the man, the myth, the legend, Sea Smith. So I think you've got a bit more living up to than I have.
Oh well, I'll get you a 2-ounce pouting. Don't you worry. I can guarantee you that. Actually, I can't. But well, a couple hours in, not a sniff yet, not a bite, apart from that bass that Martin had very early on, before I even arrived, actually. Hence why it's not going to be on video for me, but you will see it on his YouTube channel. So if you want to see the bass that he caught, head to his channel. But I have been busy setting up some hardback crab baits, which I've flung one out and I've got another one ready to go. Hence why there's those little legs and bits of shell in my little bait tray there. Just trying to manifest an early season smooth hound. Probably not going to happen, but let's give it a go, eh? Let's give it a try. As often is the case, I am kind of holding out for darkness, really. I've still got my bluey baits and everything held back for when it gets a bit darker, which is when I think we can really target the species that we're after. I think it's just a bit too bright and still too early in the season to be picking much out at this time of day. But, you know, still nice to be here. Nice to have a bit of fun and fling some baits out and see what happens. Do you know what I am excited for later, though? Dinner, which of course will be on the beach. It's going to be a fantastic looking bit of steak with some honey barbecue sauce. And I've got some pita breads and bits and bobs to have with it, but that's going to be dinner. So if there's no fish, at least you'll see a nice steak dinner on the beach tonight. Little change of plan. I want to get a fish on the board first. That's the first thing to tick off. Just make sure today's not going to be a blank. So I'm just setting up my third rod, which is my Blackrock Fuser. And I've actually got a new reel on it. I've got it's a boat reel. I bought it for the boat, but I brought it today because it's a brand new reel that I want to use with brand new braid on it, which is my Penn Spinfisher 6500 live liner. I've wanted that reel with the live liner function on it for quite some time, so pleased to pick it up, excited to use it. I know it's not a beach reel, it's not for this kind of situation, but it works fine. All I'm going to do is I've got a very, very small scratching rig, I think with size 6 hooks on it, a little Turk flapper, that I'm going to rig onto it with a tiny scrap of worm and see if we can't pick up some pouting or something like that. That will obviously make great conger baits for later tonight, and also will just mean that we have ticked off a fish and we're not blanking. So I'm going to get that rigged up and we'll get it chucked out. Hello, mate. No joy yet. Holding out for darkness, I think, but are you coming down later?
Yeah.
Safe to say, this session was hard fishing. With nearly 5 hours fished and not even a bite to show for it, all my hope rested on the darkness switching things on.
Fingers crossed this setting sun will sort us out. Why not have any fish yet? Well, Martin's had another fish. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll have to go watch this video to find out. I, on the other hand, am still blanking. But something just chopped my bluey bait in half. Unfortunately, he didn't hook himself in though. But it's promising. I'm getting more and more bites. I'm just yet to hook up. Now, admittedly, I am fishing one rod with quite a big bait, a big kind of bluey bait. The other one is about half the size of a bluey with a bit of squid, so a smaller bait. So you could argue if I size things down, I would hook up, but I am after bigger fish tonight. I want a bigger eel, bigger ray, something like that. Could still happen. The bites are kicking up. Has he? Oh no. Oh look, we wanted them earlier.
I think I had some on the other hook as well because it was really heavy.
Was it?
It just went really light.
Sometimes a dogfish can be a welcome sight. A blank saver. What a result.
With a poor session at Milford behind me and a good supply of worm bait, kindly supplied by Martin, left over, I ventured out for a midweek evening session down Southbourne to see if I couldn't redeem myself. Other than an intense fog, conditions looked good, and I was again hopeful to find some target species.
Right, well, welcome back to another day and another venue. I'm back down Southbourne on what is an incredibly misty evening. Now, when I left my home, I live about 20 minutes away from Southbourne, and when I left, it was blue skies, it was sunny, it was about 14-15 degrees. The closer and closer I got to the coastline, the colder it got and the mistier it got. And by the time I'm here, it's about 8 degrees and about 20 meters visibility. Now, I wasn't actually going to be fishing tonight, but after fishing with Martin on the weekend just gone down at Milford, and I didn't have a great session, just the one dogfish, Martin gave me his leftover worm bait. He gave me a ton of really nice ragworm, too nice to waste. I figured, well, we've got a very small wind, in fact no wind, which has calmed the sea off quite somewhat. We've got a nice building spring tide. I think springs are kind of around, or the top of the springs about this weekend, so we've got a nice building tide, which can often be the best time to fish. I thought, you know what, we're gonna have to come down for a midweek Southbourne session, and that is why I'm here. Right, lines are all set. There's always that mad panic when you first get down there, isn't there? To get lines in the water, get the baits in the water just as quickly as I can, just in case the fish are here and the fish are feeding and I'm missing out on it. It's never the case, is it? But it's always what I end up thinking. Although I was in a little bit of a rush today because I was quite late getting down here. Last time we fished it, of course, my last video down here at Southbourne, it was that sunset period, just as the light was starting to die out, that the bites picked up and we landed at that place. So although there's hardly any light around, of course, because of this fog, sunset is in about probably half an hour's time. So I did want to get set up, one, in the light, because it's easier to do so, but also at least get a little bit of fishing time in the daylight, just in case that's when the bites come along. There we go, all set up. Let's get fishing. Don't you just love when a plan comes together? There's our little place. Honestly, that's the first cast. That rod's been in the water for no longer than 20 minutes. I just sat down to eat my dinner. All right, we'll get him unhooked and we'll give you a better shot. Our first fish of the session. A lovely little place. He's a small one, but very welcome. We're definitely getting to that period of the year, guys, where you can just turn up at a beach within 20 minutes, you've got a fish. A target fish as well. Not all whiting. Let's get him back, try and find some more. Now I've got to say, I was quite surprised when I saw a place on the end of that rod then. It was a really good bite. He kind of pulled the rod right down and almost bounced it back up. But I think what it is I have scaled down my, that's my black rock cruiser, but I've got the lighter tip of the two that you get is a twin tip rod. It's a really light, delicate rod. Lovely for flatty fishing, lovely for, you know, this type of fishing, because the bite texture is incredible, especially if you're using it with braid, which is what I'm doing. So braided line and a light tip rod. Yeah, A cracking bite. Was that a bite? Yeah, it was. Ooh. Timing, eh? Oh, could be another flatty. I think it is. Love it. Oh, tiny one. So this little guy is actually a flounder. My first flounder of the year. I spent quite a few hours over winter trying to find this guy. Oh, light's gone out. But yeah, I spent many hours over winter trying to find this guy. And finally I have. Probably not going to show up very well on camera in the darkness, but he's actually got some really faint orange spots on his side, which flounder can often do. Alright, just had another rattly bite then. All seems to be coming on this right hand rod, which to be fair I've put in a little bit closer. Right, this left rod has been twitching for quite some time now, and I'm not convinced there's not a fish here. Oh, I don't know. Do we have a fish? Oh, we do have a fish. Well, if you ever wanted a stark reminder that we're not quite out of winter yet, there it is. My flurry of flatfish has been thwarted by a little whiting. But still, it's another fish, and it's the third species in 3 casts. That I will take. Now you can probably see all the mist that's in the air in front of the light. I've actually got the light on my phone, which is what I used to record on as lighting, because unfortunately my big lamp I forgot to charge. So you can probably see all the mist right in front of the camera lens. And if I turn my head torch, you can literally see it here. It makes it difficult to see through the light. It's really thick fog, really, really damp air. Everything is just getting like soaked. If I leave my mics out, my camera out, everything, it's just got a layer of moisture on within seconds. So I'm hoping all my electrics make it back home safe. Quite eerie conditions, but the fish seem to love it so far, so I'm not complaining. Ooh, that is a good bite. It's a proper fish. That's it. Chill out, mate, chill out. I know he's not breaking any records, but a lovely springtime bass off of Southbourne. Of course, we are in March, so we're out of season, and he is way undersized as well. So I've got no intention of keeping him, and he'll be going back into the sea nice and healthy. But look at that, fin perfect. Beautiful, beautiful bass. 4 species. Love it. Southbourne's on fire. It's a little nip in the air with that mist, those dampness that we've got. I shouldn't complain, it's nowhere near as bad as it has been the last few months. I think, you know, the frost and the minuses have passed. We've done the hard bit now, but there's just wetness in the air is a bit ugh. But if anything's to go by, tonight there's definitely more evidence that springtime fishing is here. And the forecast for the next couple of weeks actually does look good. So I think there's some really good opportunity to get out there fishing. I think me and Martin have got a trip to Brighton planned for this weekend on Saturday. Of course, to go try for the flatfish for the place mainly. Now I've never fished Brighton myself, so I'm quite excited to tick it off the list and add it to a venue that I have fished, and hopefully we'll have a good day of it. But in other exciting news, I spent the Sunday just gone, Wednesday today, it's Wednesday evening. Sunday just gone, I spent down by Nacho. Now, for those of you that might have been around on my channel since the start of it, you'll remember Nacho. Nacho was out of the water all of last year, so you wouldn't have seen her on any videos, but Nacho is my boat. It's a 20-foot Maxim 1800 SR3. Those of you that know your fishing boats probably won't recognise that boat because it's not a fishing boat, it's a bow rider. But I do fish off it. I've got rod holders on it, it floats, it gets me to marks. And in fact, it gets me to marks quicker than anyone else because it's got a 4.2, is it a 4.2 litre? 4 point something litre Mercruiser V6, which absolutely flies across the water. Now long term, I don't plan to keep it, but it's what I've got for now. And it's going back in the water in just over a week and a half. She'll be completely serviced, all cleaned, ready to go for a full season. So yeah, expect to see some really cool videos coming off it.
If you haven't seen it actually, and you're interested in seeing it, if you go back to my videos, not last summer, summer before, I actually did an overnight on that show, where I went out in the morning on absolutely incredible, stunning conditions. I had some amazing bream fishing. I don't know what else. I caught all sorts that day, I think. I had a fantastic time of it. Slept overnight on the boat. I think I did a catch and cook as well, of bream. It was epic. It was so much fun. So I'd like to do that again this year, definitely. In fact, I don't want like to, I'm going to do that again this year. We're going to do an overnight catch and cook and have some good fun. Well, it is another fish, another little whiting. All the baits and hooks are coming back pretty much stripped. So I think it's these guys having their way with it at the moment. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed that one. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable session down here at Southbourne. We've managed to pluck out 4 species, bass, whiting, plaice, and finally a flounder. After many attempts, kind of given up on them for the winter at least, we managed to pluck one out. But there you go, that's fishing. Make sure you get yourself down here, or to your local beaches, wherever you might be, because it does feel like the fishing is definitely picking up. I'm going to be next out with Martin down at Brighton, as I mentioned earlier. So look out for that video upcoming, and then following that we'll be doing lots more boat fishing. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Nacho's back in the water. We've obviously got the Sib, and there's lots more on the Sib to explore and to do. So keep an eye out for the boat content as well. As ever guys, thank you for watching. I always appreciate your support in whatever form that might be, whether it's a view, a like, subscribe, comment, whatever. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.